I feel excited to invite and welcome Professor Aarti Srivastava, a distinguished academic and leader, currently heads the Department of Higher and Professional Education at the National Institute of Education Planning and Administration, Ministry of Education, New Delhi. With a doctorate from Jawaharlal Nehru University and dual master's degree in economics and education, she has built a remarkable career across premier institutes such as University of Delhi and Banaras Hindu University. Her expertise has significantly contributed to international projects with Wisconsin University, NCERT, and Rockefeller. Her influence extends globally, having collaborated with Oxford University, Harvard University, and the Australian Education Ministry, and she has undergone specialized training at IIEP UNESCO Paris. She is also on the editorial board of several renowned journals and has published extensively on employability, gender, leadership, and higher education. Her academic rigor, leadership, and commitment to advancing education make her a highly respected figure in both national and international education landscapes. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Professor Aarti Srivastava.
Aarti ji, namaste. It was pleasant meeting you in Motihari, Bihar, and now we are talking together on this global platform. So honored that you took out time. We all are eager to listen from you about India, about the power of spiritual mentorship, guiding youth towards peaceful consciousness. Over to you for next 13 minutes. You all are eager to listen from you.
Thank you, Vikranji, for having me over, and thanks to the organization for giving me some time to share my thoughts on mentorship in spiritualism. As you all know, I am an educator, and therefore, my standpoint will be from education itself. So, I start with a Hindi quote, and I will explain it in English. Guru Gobind dou khade kak lago paye. Balihari Guru Aapne Gobind Diyo Bataye. Like, if there are two people standing in front of you, one a teacher and the other God, whom are you going to pay your respect first? So it goes on to say that you have to pay respect first to the teacher who has enlightened your mind to reach God. And therefore, teacher is more important than God himself. So having said that, that is what the Indian ethos about teacher is. And that is exactly what we mean when we say that the importance of mentorship in education. What does the guru actually do? Guru means a teacher. So someone who is mentally aware of the responsive and is responsive to the surroundings in a very objective way, that you are aware of everything around you and your responses are discerned and nuanced to the surroundings in a very objective way, is what a spiritual leader can make you do. So how does he go about this? He goes about by first making you understand self. What is the difference between a teacher and a guru? A teacher only limits himself to the curriculum, right? The curriculum is, more of it is materialistic, but a guru goes into the untangible paths. He actually nurtures your soul. So, and what are we without the soul? Nothing. Our bodies, the soul actually embodies our own bodies, and therefore the soul is very important, and we need to nurture the soul. Why we look at the school teachers, we see that some teachers have made a marked difference. Because why? Because they were able to handle our emotions. There is, in some of the books, like, if you read about teachers, the most celebrated teachers, they were different because while you were passing through different difficult times, they were able to understand their reality and give you positive affirmations so that you could actually steer your process through life itself. So understanding of the self is through the guru, that there are so many temptations, miles to go before I sleep, and therefore understanding self. What is it that you really want in life? What is it that is important? What is it that you need to prioritize? So understanding of self comes through the teacher itself, and therefore the importance of mentorship in spirituality is a non-negotiable. Then, of course, exploring consciousness. How do we explore consciousness? Right now, we have had a short meditation term. So that, when you freeze other outward vectors and you focus on yourself and inside, then you are, tuned to more of your consciousness. In India, we have, the yoga, and yoga in the previous session was said it's a unity. Unity is with God itself. When the soul and our bodies merge together, that is the unity that we're talking about. There are several kinds of yogas, and the most popular is the Ashtanga yoga, in which you have yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, dhyan, dharana, and then samadhi. So all these things give you, that how these are different stages of how you will reach the ultimate goal, is that the moksha, that when you are free from the cycle of birth and rebirth, and that is what every human being actually is aiming for. So exploring consciousness at different levels, you could be at a lower level or level 1, 2, 3. There are 8 vats, and in different kinds of yogic practices, there can be fourfold path, they can be threefold path, at whatever the ways and approaches to yoga is. But then you are at a different level, and when you want to reach to the next level, that is exploring consciousness. And then, of course, combining both the science and spirituality. We are all living in a material world, so we do need to understand the science behind, and of course the spirituality behind that. So how do we bring up synergy by we are nurturing our souls in a very different way, and also trying to be living in this material world. So the dialectics there is settled through the guru itself. And of course the guru influences in a very impressionistic way. You have so many people around you, teachers, non-teachers and all, but you actually in your subconscious actually emulate some which are actually the ones that influence you more. You like to be by like the X person or white person within the family, outside the family, in the school, in the college, but where your energies actually match. So we have to see the energy matching, and that is how we try to influence each other. Also, while we are matching, we also have to be mindful about the different perspectives that are there, and our perspectives should be aligned. I mean, we should be on the same page of the hymn book to say, the perspectives, that we have, the common value system that we have, and to understand, what we don't have. It's important to know what we have. Also, it's important to know what we don't have, so that we can align these things. And consciousness as a fundamental quality, that we are all part of the larger being, one being and one consciousness, because we are all parts of it, from the larger consciousness. Our planet is one part, water, earth, the trees, the animal kingdom, the human lives, they're all part of one single consciousness. So we need to be sensitive to each and every way, and this has to be awakened through the guru, which is called the awakening of our minds and our consciousness, where we 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 actually reach a level of synergy where we are one, and we can feel the vibes of the other people. So science actually tells you what's tangible, but consciousness takes you to the untangible. Science leaves you at the material world, and consciousness takes you to the outer world also, where you're there. So what are the skills that are levels that we need to know, is that we need to first survive, build relationships. First level is to we need to survive, survival of the fittest. Then we need to build relationships, and the self-esteem. We have just heard in the human rights that we have to be very conscious about the self-esteems of others. And then, of course, the transformative stage. We are all born in a different way, but we evolve and transform. So then we reach the transformation. Internal cohesion, of what is outside world and the inside, they have to be the more cohesive they are, the more peaceful you are. The more desegregated they are, the more you are not in cohesion with them. And that leads to the value that is much needed in this world, called service, that you lead service to other people, service to animals, service to planet, service to people who are marginalized and all that. And then once you start serving, then you get lots of things in your soul. The first being the peace, second joy, love, bliss, purity, power, and truth. So don't, I mean, I my the take is that don't judge the day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. Harvest is already planted and you just get the benefits, but the seeds that you plant actually are more transformative in nature. And of course, what does the real spiritual mentor actually do? Is that you are on the path, so he gives you affirmations and encouragement. Yes, you are on the right path, you're doing this, grow gradually, grow, keep doing, and then and also that is encouraging, well done, good, excellent, yes, correct, oh wow. All these affirmations and encouragement help you motivate to maintain and go ahead in the right path. And of course, the guru also is role model. He has, there are three ways how you can influence. The first and the foremost is the impressionistic way, that you are such an enlightened soul yourself that people follow you, and not the repressionistic, that by force you are trying to do, or a free, laissez-faire style, where you just are a little haywire in choosing, sometimes this, sometimes that. But one guru, one spiritual mentor, one person who can make all the difference. So the role model, is another important way how, the spiritual mentorship can be actually that can straddle a person, who is reaching a path of spirituality. Also, it builds in accountability, that yes, at what level, how much have you been able to do, how much more is to be done. So that accountability, that that also builds into the process, that is very, very important, that a leader, can actually tell you that, where you actually, going the right way, or where is it that you're erring, and how do you actually take control of that. And then next is, of course, advising every stage in your spiritual journey, and the time that you are spending in other things also. So advise, how to balance the two, and also how to take it forward from there, that is of course there. Next is, of course, is the listening ear. Because many a times we know that, we want to talk out, there are several things which are there in our minds, that we want to reach out to people, but there is just nobody to listen. But then a leader or a teacher or a guru actually needs to have, a listening ear, so that you are able to understand your disciple in the way he understands himself. So the listening ear becomes very important, that you have a listening ear, so you are able to, listen to, or your everybody. And then once you know them and understand them the way they want to, then you can steer the path for them in a better way. And this, leads to spiritual growth. Spiritual growth is, it also is not only of the disciple, but also the mentor himself. Because when you have several kinds of disciples, and you build in many perspectives within your own spiritual growth, so the path that you are taking is a very enriched path, and it takes you very, very high in life. So you have, the nourishment of the soul, nourishment of the mind, nourishment of the body, through mindfulness, through several things that we have gone through the previous speakers also. That how then, the role of the teacher, who's taking you through the path, holding your hand, so that, you have your questions, answers, anxieties, all things are sorted out, and you can, move higher and higher in this path of journey, spiritual journey. So with that, I end my formal this thing, and I'm open to some question and answers if there are any.
Thank you, Aarti ji. It was a very useful topic that you picked up. Being an academician yourself, you gave some light on what is the importance of a spiritual mentor in bringing peace within yourself. As you mentioned that guru nourishes your soul, that was really very profound. That shows that how much deep existence of guru goes in your personality. And as you also mentioned, lots of disturbances happens in life, but Guru reminds you that miles to go before you sleep. Guru also invokes one consciousness in you. And you mentioned that there are lots of ways Guru contribute in your life through affirmations, through encouragement, through right kind of advice. Guru himself role models and listens to you so that you can share whatever you feel like. And Guru provides a multi-dimensional nourishment to you. And you also mentioned it is not only one way. Guru himself also gets elevated with this nourishment, and this is a mutual process. That's very profound. Thank you very much, Aarti ji. I'm being joined by Mr. Karthik from USA to thank you today. Karthik ji.
Thank you, everyone. We cannot believe that the 7-day UCC event is coming to a conclusion today.
Thank you, Aarti ji.
And thank you to.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Professor Aarti Srivastava for coming on to the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you so much.